Good afternoon. Welcome along to Nethermore Park here at Guiseley for this Vanarama National League game between Guiseley AFC and Boreham A.F.C. Of course, for Guiseley, an agonising point is what they took away from North Wales on Wednesday. The 3-3 draw against Wrexham. Not a bad point on the road, but after being 3-2 up, going into added time, heartbreak all the same. Big news from that game, of course, the sending off of Gavin Rothery. His suspension kicks in immediately, so he is facing a 3-game ban starting from today. First of all, we'll start by hearing from Mark Bauer after the game on Wednesday. Here's what his thoughts on the 3-3 draw. I'm joined by Mark Bauer after Guiseley's 3-3 draw at Wrexham. Where the hell do you start with a game like that, Mark? A lot to take in. First of all, how do you feel about the performance and the result?
I thought, on the whole, we played really well. Coming to a big side, good side. They've started the season really well. A little bit of dip in form recently, but they'll certainly be expected to beat us. And we came and we knew they'd look to pass the ball. We had a plan to deal with that and scored a really good goal ourselves. I think the 2 goals that they scored in the first half were just completely self-inflicted. Errors that you can't really legislate for. So at half-time we had a little chat and the lads came out with an absolutely superb second half. Thought, the way we moved it about, created chances, we looked really solid. And once we got in front, thought we'd comfortably see it out. And I suppose it's just a matter of time in this conversation before we start talking about a referee, which, again, has, in my view, clearly cost us points tonight.
I think from where we were sitting, Wrexham fans may feel that he possibly cost them 3 points in the free kick that led to our second goal.
I think you were pushing the back. I think the lads tried to win it from Gav, and he shoved him in the back, and a free kick to 40 yards from goal. If that's all they've got to complain about, then try. A red card when we're clean through on goal should have been the lad when he gets booked should have been sent off. Gavin Rothery wins the ball cleanly in midfield, and a red card's produced. And then at the end, the equalising goal that they score. I can see it on the bench, it's handball. All the lads in the penalty area can see the handball. Unfortunately, again, a referee can't see a handball against us. And what should have been 3 points ends up being 1.
With respect to discipline, that's only his first red card, and as you say, completely unjust. But from a discipline side thing, we have looked disciplined this season to get 17 games in without a red.
Especially, in modern day football, but it's not even a red card. We should be sat here 17 games in with no red cards. I think we're first or second best in terms of the fair play thing, which is something that we feel we need to do in this league. If you give away free kicks and let people have set pieces and put them in your box, then you're asking for trouble. So we encourage the lads to stay on the feet and not give silly free kicks away. But Gav just clearly plays the ball. If the lad runs into his foot as he's following through, it's not even a tackle. Gav's passing the ball. He's there. It's a 60-40, and he gets there first and passes the ball. And the lad runs into him. He goes down screaming. As soon as the red card comes out, he's back up on his feet and he's absolutely fine. Just thought the referee was completely. He fell for it basically. But again, we just have to deal with not just the opponents that we're playing against, but the decisions that are going against us. I thought we had some shockers early on in the season. I thought it calmed down a bit after that, but the last couple of games has just been so difficult to take. I feel really sorry for the boys in there. They're absolutely gutted. We've come away to Wrexham, we've lost 3 on the bounce. If anyone would have said, would you take a point beforehand? Most people around here would have said, yeah, but the lads are absolutely gutted with a point because they feel, again, that it's been snatched away from us, not from our poor play, but from things that are beyond our control, i.e., decisions. But they've got to take a lot of heart from the performance. We've got games coming up now, 2 home games in the league and an FA Cup game that we need to be going and getting some points in, because it's all well and good as patting ourselves on the back that we've put in another decent performance, good performance. We're probably for a number of reasons short on the number of points that we should have got by now.
Looking at the positives from tonight's game, the timing of Liam Dickinson's introduction was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, he's he came on, took the free kick and smashed that against the bar. And then we just felt, they had a lack of height in their side. Boys had won quite a few headers in the first half, so we just felt if we got Dick up there alongside him, it might be a weakness that we could exploit. And with the Jake coming on as well, a big physical presence, we sort of looked like we had a bit more height, a bit more strength, a bit more physical presence than them, and we looked to try and get the ball up to them and exploit that, and it paid off on that occasion. And then obviously Dicko brings it down well and great ball into Boise's path. Boise shows his pace, and really pleased for him because he has missed a few chances this season, but the one thing that you can guarantee from Boise, he'll always get himself in a position to miss a chance. So whereas he probably doesn't have the conversion rate that some of the top strikers in this league has, he gets himself lots of chances because he's clever and his runs he makes off the ball, and he always gets himself in position to miss those chances. So absolutely delighted for him that it went in. Just gutted for him and the rest of the lads that it was snatched away from us at the end.
Talking about Boyce's goal, it was a stunning finish, and the relief he seemed to let out during his celebration at getting back on the score sheet again.
Yeah, exactly. He's a striker, and strikers are judged in the goals that they score, and but just pleased for him because he keeps going. He'll always, like I say, get himself in those positions to miss those chances, and great finish. He showed what he's capable of. He showed his pace. He's running off the ball. He's always willing to get in there, and hopefully that can give him a little boost and a bit of a kick start again. Because what Boise does is when he does get himself on a little run, he can, score goal after goal, and I'm sure, certainly hope that's the case, and he will do too.
And taking a point away from here, it ends the short losing streak of 3 in the bounce, ahead of 2 league home games against Boreham and Welling. How important do you feel they are at the moment, given the league table and the situation there?
Very, very important, yeah. I mean, the Boreham and Welling will probably look at the game against us and see it as an opportunity for them to get points on the board. And as we've seen in the league this season, no one's going to give you anything. Everything is fiercely competitive, and they're going to be tough games. Said to the players in the dressing room, we've had 4 games against big established conference type and football league type teams in Lincoln, Macclesfield, Forest Green and Wrexham. The game on Saturday against Boreham Wood will be harder than any of the 4 that we've played because there'll be that a little bit more expectation on us. But we've got to go out and show the same work ethic and confidence and quality that we showed at times tonight. And if we do that, then we're capable of getting a result. If we take our foot off the gas, if we're sloppy like we were for little spells in the first half, we'll get punished. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But it's good, certainly good that we've broken that duck, and just hope the lads can. We won't see them between now and Saturday, but just hope they can get that out of the system and look forward to the game. And if we can get 3 points on the board again, it gives everyone a boost. And we've got that free week leading up to the cup tie. I think we've played 17 games now in just over 2 months for a part-time side. For that run to sort of end as we've played some of the big full-time teams, I think the lads deserve a lot of credit for how they kept going at times when we've been up against it and losing games, and at times tonight where we've done well and should have really won.
And we haven't spoken since the FA Cup draw, but as we've referred to there, sandwiched in between these 2 home league games. FA Cup 4th round qualifier, the gods have decided on a draw away at the arch rivals, for the fans at least. FC Halifax Town away, who of course themselves haven't been on a great run.
No. Saw them play last night at Grimsby, and obviously they're in a difficult position at the moment. But as any team can, in between the sort of 7-goal defeats that they've had, they've won away at Altrincham, which is a difficult place to go. Altrincham beating the likes of Grimsby and Tranmere there this season, so you can't take anything for granted. We know that we'll have to be right up for it. Local derby, FA Cup tie, I'm sure everything, all the cliches, it goes out the window. But yeah, look forward to that game. It'll be I think it's a good game for both clubs really to. Obviously, from our point of view, it's an opportunity for us to get to the first round, and guys who've been in the first round many times in the past. Goal for us is, let's try and get better than that this season, and we've got a chance at Halifax to go and get a result. And if we play like we played tonight, there's we've every chance of getting through to the first round. Being
the first season at this level for the club, how important is the cup run to you, or is it all about focusing on the league?
No, FA Cup's massive, absolutely massive. You'd be looking at anyone that gets through that 4th qualifying round, they'll be looking, thinking we can draw Sheffield United, Coventry, Bradford City at home. Do that, you're on TV, and your chairman's happy with you. So, no, it's a fantastic competition. especially given the fact that we've no games on the Tuesday either side of the game. It'll be massive focus for us to go and win and get through. And if you can get on runs, winning runs, you can keep going. And winning breeds confidence. We saw last season we'd have spells where I think we won 4-5 on the bounce, and then you have a spell like we've won where we've lost 3 on the bounce. It can become a habit. So it's a great game for us to go and hopefully it'll be on the back of a win against Boreham and one that we can carry on.
Well, that was Mark Bauer there speaking after the 3-3 draw at Wrexham on Wednesday night. It was. First things first, Dave Kendra is alongside me. Dave, it ended that run of back-to-back defeats against bigger sides, it's fair to say.
Yeah, I think we had a couple of difficult games. Really, I mean, Macclesfield was obviously a huge disappointment. Everybody admits that it wasn't the performance that they wanted to put in. We weren't really, to be honest, expecting anything from Forest Green, but we did see a much more improved performance on that day, and we caught Wrexham a couple of times, and I think it was a much improved performance. I wasn't there; I can only go on the highlights, but it's certainly excellent. It's certainly excellent to see boys back on the score sheet. Certainly excellent to have come away with something from that game which we might not necessarily have expected. A shame not to win it in the end. We were undone. Well, we were undone by a questionable red card. And Wrexham
questionable.
Well, I'm being kind.
You're being very polite there, mate. Very polite. It was an incredibly soft red card. I think the biggest issue we've got there is that obviously we haven't been able to appeal it. Basically, I think the lack of time.
Well, it is a shame because Gav had been coming back into the side and had put in a decent couple of performances in those games. So it's a shame that he has to now sit out the next 3. But in terms of the team today, I think it's much. There's a lot of players who have played for most of the season now. Boys will want to get a goal again today. We started with Boys and Craddock up front at the beginning of the season, and I thought that looked pretty promising. It just needed time to bed in.
Yeah, we haven't really seen
it didn't
a great
really
deal,
get.
have we? We'll quickly run through the team line, starting with Guiseley, then as follows: Steve Drench, Ryan Toulson, Danny Lowe, Adam Lockwood, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Adam Boys, Tom Craddock, Will Hatfield, George Maris and Rob Atkinson. On the bench, Danny Boschel, Danny Hall, Dan Atkinson, Nicky Boschel and Luke Porritt. Big news in terms of the lineup is there is no Liam Dickinson. He misses out altogether. He's not even on the ground today because apparently he's got gastric flu.
Look after him, Bev.
Yes, exactly. Message from Bev there. Look after him. Let's get him back fit and well as soon as possible.
He'll probably be up on the sofa, feet up. He'll probably have a little bowl of tomato soup a bit later on. That's what I'd suggest, Dicko. And he'll probably be listening in. So hello, Liam.
Yeah. Well, just in case, let's talk about how important he was on Wednesday, because the ball through, you've seen it on the highlights a million times since Wednesday. The ball through, superb. Cracking finish well for Adam Boys. And we talked a bit about Adam Boys. He needed that goal, didn't he? Because he's a man that had looked very short of confidence, and he missed a golden chance in that game earlier on.
Do you know what? Not only was it important that he got on the score sheet, it was exactly the sort of goal that Adam Boys needs. He needs to get a sight of goal, thump it, and see it fly into the top corner, just to remind himself that he can do that.
Yeah.
It was very important. Do you know what I mean? We've criticised Guiseley this season a little bit for just playing it around too much at the edge of the box.
At one stage on Wednesday, I shouted, "Oh, just shoot!" So yes, I know exactly what you mean by that.
So, and actually, to be fair, that's something we've all done at some point this season. It's just, oh, for the love of God, please shoot. And that's what he did, and that's what he needed to do. If he'd taken a couple more touches, he might have got closed down. So it's good that he just took a punt and it came off for him, and hopefully that'll give him a little boost of confidence that he needs just to take the chances that should come his way today.
Absolutely. Well, the two sides are making their way out now here at Netherwell Park. We've got grey skies in the distance, but for the surface at least and for the stadium, beautiful bit of sunshine at the moment. Boreham Wood in their away kit of blue shirts, blue shorts and blue socks. Guiseley in the home kit, white shirts, with navy shorts and navy socks. So quickly running through the two-team lineups with Guiseley, Steve Drench, Ryan Tilson, Danny Lowe, Adam Lockwood, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Adam Boyes, Tom Craddock, Will Hatfield, George Maris and Rob Atkinson. And the starting lineup for Boreham Wood, James Russell, Danny Woodards, Sam Cox, Callum Reynolds, the captain, Ricky Shakes, Charlie McDonald, Jamie Lucas, Connor Clifford, Billy Clifford, Clovis Clamjoe, and Joe DeVere. On the benches for the Lions, Danny Bosho, Danny Hall, Dan Atkinson, Nicky Bosho, and Luke Porritt. And for Boreham Wood, Ben Nunn, Luke Howell, Junior Marias, Anthony Jeffrey, and Mustafa Tiaki. So, Nick Keefe has joined me in the commentary box to summarise on this afternoon's game. Now, Nick, we were there on Wednesday night. Following on from that good point on the road, what's your assessment of how important is this game? Is it a must-win game at this stage of the season? For me, I'm borderline saying yes.
I think when by the way, it's extraordinary that we've been invited back after Wednesday. I was looking at it today and thinking this would be a really good one to win. I'm really cautious about saying any games must win. It's October. But I do think, actually, that on 19 points at the moment, we're just about halfway there. Because I did a little bit of maths, and if the teams in the bottom 4 or 5 return the same number of points per game as they have done over the fraction that we've already played of this season, then I think 38, 39 points would be enough to stay up. So on 19 at the moment, the difference between no points and 3 today is possibly the difference between being halfway towards a staying up total and not being quite there yet. Either way, that puts us ahead of schedule. Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I've got to ask about your maths and your calculations, it's obvious anyway, but go on, just tell me, how does the season end for Halifax? Sorry, that's cruel, isn't it? Well, it ends with a glorious FA Cup run starting at our expense next Saturday. That's a very safe answer, and I commend you for that one, Nick. You've answered that very, very well. Well, 2 sets of players are out. Boreham Wood, I'll say in there. Away kit, just having a bit of a group huddle at the moment as they now disperse and make their ways across their half of the pitch. It will be Boreham Wood to kick off. The referee for this game is John Brooks. His assistants Liam Jones and Hristo Ivanov. As the referee gets us underway, Boreham Wood kicking from left to right. Guiseley shooting towards the railway end of Nethermore as Tom Craddock gets the ball. Plays it back to Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe, first time long ball down his left-hand side. Adam Boyes goes up and challenges but loses out. This ball flicked on by Clamjoe. Now Boreham Wood just hooked the ball away. George Maris appeals for a throw, not given. Play continues. Jake Law nods it back towards Danny Lowe, but it's been intercepted by Ricky Shakes, the Guyanan international. Now Brooksby, he's forced to send the ball all the way back through Steve Drench. Drench, first time clearance downfield. Craddock challenging, losing out though. Second ball picked up well by Will Hatfield. Plays 1-2 with Maris. And back to Lowe. Boreham Wood pressing quite high up the field. Jamie Lucas and the experienced Charlie McDonald. One of many Football League appearances. He's an excellent goal scorer for Brentford in League One a few years ago. Good knockdown from Adam Boyes. Adam Boyes finds Brooksby. Brooksby plays it across to George Maris. Maris goes for goal and puts it well over the top, through the trees and probably onto the Ilkley line beyond that fence, Nick. Yeah, difficult skill that, trying to open his body. He's running to his left. He's trying to open his body so that he can shoot with the side of his foot, going in the opposite direction to where he was running. Very similar situation to the one that left you yelling and screaming on Wednesday night, Chris, because Wayne Brooksby had an opportunity to shoot on his left there and didn't choose to take that and instead played it across to Maris.
Okay, it was a good move, starting with the knockdown from Adam Boyes as Boreham Wood looked to come forward, and here's Charlie McDonald up against Ryan Tilson, pulls it back, finds a sky blue shirt. Now the ball's back with Danny Woodards. Well, forced further back. Now the cross comes in towards Lucas. Lucas inside the Guiseley 18-yard box. He's got Rob Atkinson harrying him, pressing him away. As Boreham Wood continue to have possession, looking to find a way through early doors. Just over 2 minutes so far. Ricky Shakes, nice turn and flick into McDonald. Shot comes in from Billy Clifford. Poor touch there from Clovis Camjo. On loan from Barnett. And now Hatfield plays ball over to that right hand side. Finds Toulson. Return to the former Accrington man. Now Toulson again. Ball goes out of play for a throw in. Of course, Nick, managerial debut for the Boreham Wood manager. Luke Garrard, I believe his name. It's just 30 years of age.
Yeah, previously assistant manager here, or there at Boreham Wood. Obviously been at the club a long time, through lower divisions and in their current situation here in the National League. Complete unknown, putting a 30-year-old in charge of a club part way through a season in the autumn. Not that different to a decision made here just a couple of years ago to put a veteran defender in charge of this club, and it's gone all right so far with Mark Bauer.
Of course, that pushes Mark from the second to now the third youngest manager in the league, with Louis Fazackerley at Welling, and now Luke Gerrard as the youngest manager in the league. Boreham Wood in possession, just inside the Guiseley half. The ball picked up by Billy Clifford. Crossfield ball in towards the 18-yard box, headed away well by Adam Lockwood, but good closing down from Cam Joe. Now Guiseley back in possession. Interesting to note both Connor Clifford and Billy Clifford, as Rob Atkinson almost plays himself into trouble. Just about get out of it though. The Clifford brothers, both former Chelsea youth products. As the ball played forward by Guiseley, rolls out for a goal kick.
If you were going to choose a game to play 4-4-2 in, and if you were going to choose a game to be missing Liam Dickinson, this looks like the one. I mean, Boreham Wood are not a tall team, are they, at all? The man on loan there, Clamjo, sticks out as by a distance the most athletic-looking player in Boreham Wood's side. So if you were going to leave it a man light in midfield and not play the long balls to the head of Dickinson...
Well, Wayne Brooksby's just been caught by that man. Clovis Camjo.
Brilliant name, not such a good challenge.
Was on the halfway line. I think he was a little bit late. Brooksby's gone down. And no doubt will receive treatment. Well, he's back up. So as I say that, miracles have happened and he's back on his feet instantly.
The other side of what I was saying was I think Liam Dickinson would have had a field day against a defence like this. They're
not your typical National League centre halves, are they?
They are not tall at all. There's not a man over 6 foot in there.
Free kick taken by Toulson. Lawler goes up, loses out in the air. It drops on the edge of the box to Brooksby. Brooksby tried to go for goal, but it was blocked and cleared away. Now Will Hatfield plays it back to Danny Lowe. Well, goes long. Looking to find the run of Tom Craddock. It's been nodded back through towards the goalkeeper, and the keeper, James Russell, just about keeps that in play and prevents it going for a corner.
That being said, it looks like guys here are planning to play a lot of passing football. They're trying to play it out from the back before when they almost got caught, and they got away with it that time. But a decent start to the game so far. Both teams trying to move the ball around.
Yeah, so far it certainly seems that Boreham Wood are pressing quite high up the pitch, to certainly putting Atkinson and Lockwood under pressure when them two are in possession.
Yeah, that won't be a great worry to Guiseley, because that opens up space further up the pitch. That really suits the passing play of Guiseley much more than if Boreham Wood were parking all of their men behind the ball. Good
flick on there from Adam Boys in towards Brooksby. Brooksby ended up underneath a Boreham Wood defender, so a free kick has been given in Guiseley's favour. And George Maris is the man that stood over this free kick. 5 or 6 yards outside the 18-yard box, slightly to the right. 5 or 6 yards in from the far touchline. Just under 7 minutes gone as Maris now takes this free kick, whips it across. Plenty of shirts in there, none of them get a meaningful touch. Now Lockwood, back to Hatfield. Lockwood again on this left-hand side. Cross comes in. Good right-footed ball. I think it took a touch off Craddock. Eventually, surely will be cleared away, and it is out for a Guiseley throw, but a good spell of pressure from the home side.
Oh yeah, a good cross in from the improvising left winger Adam Lockwood.
So throw in now for Guiseley, which Ryan Toulson will take. Of course, has the ability to launch one in, and does on this occasion, well into the 18-yard box. Comes to Lawler on the edge of the box, back out to Toulson. Toulson now looks to deliver it. Good block from Jamie Lucas. Second ball comes back in, and that one's dealt with, but it's straight out of the cricket pitch. Sadly, I say sadly, there's no cricket going on. Who am I to say a game of cricket should be ruined? But the season's finished now.
That's a good point, actually. What's happened in the test match? It was nearly finished as I was driving over.
Great ball through to Adam Boys. Boys can't get the control because the Boreham Wood defender comes and puts the challenge in, forces another corner for Guiseley. George Maris will come across to take it. Wayne Brooksby stays close by for the short option. Will Hatfield lurking just outside the box. The likes of Lockwood and Atkinson inside though. And there will be George Maris to take this delivery. It's a good one as well. Across the edge of the 6-yard box. Comes out as far as Hatfield. Hatfield drills into a crowd of players. Could have taken a touch if anyone. Here's Hatfield again over the top. But it takes a touch and goes for another Guiseley corner. Good spell of pressure in this opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's really good pressure by Guiseley. Lots of bodies in the box. People not being afraid to shoot from the outside as well. Hatfield with 2 attempts on goal there from distance. That's good to see, some attacking intent.
Very much so. And it certainly seems today we're not afraid to have a bit of a go from distance as this cross comes in from the corner towards the back post. It's met and it's turned in, surely Lawler. It's no. Well, Jake Lawler was the man that sent it goal bound. It was cleared off the line not once but twice in quick successions. The cross comes back in, comes as far as Craddock. Craddock was wasn't caught, but the ball didn't get away from his foot cleanly. And Boreham would have been able to clear that on the ball. It is now all the way back from Steve Drench. But it's certainly seen there that Jake Lawler was sending that goal bound.
Brilliant clearance off the line by Sam Cox, actually. The only man left on the line, keeper, was stranded. Managed to hook it away. Impossible to see from here how close it came to crossing the line. But if he hadn't been there, Cox, that would have definitely been 1-0.
It's been a good start from Guiseley. Obviously, we started well at Wrexham on Wednesday night, going goal up inside 3 minutes. We've got 10 minutes on the clock now, but generally, it's been one-way traffic so far.
It has been. That's no reason to get complacent when it's 0-0.
Well, no, I was going to say this has generally been a problem, hasn't it, when we've had good starts and spells of pressure. Older shot springs to mind, that's all I'm saying.
We've picked up an ability to concede goals at really unfortunate times in matches.
And now Boreham Wood have a free kick. Level with the edge of the centre circle. Further over towards that left-hand side. As the free kick now comes in. Well, 3 or 4 players just go down in a heap. A couple of from each side. As the ball goes through to Steve Drench.
Yeah, they were all piling on there, weren't they? No time for a lie down.
One ball forward. Craddock goes up, doesn't win it, but the ball bounces through. Good nodded pass from Adam Boys. Finds Maris on his left-hand side. Maris gets the cross in, hooked away. It was the former Portsmouth defender Joe De Vera that was beaten by Maris. Good challenge from Jake Lawler, but the ball goes to a Boreham Wood man. Good ball forward, finds Charlie McDonald. McDonald's touches a good one, finds Connor Clifford. He finds Billy Clifford. Ball moves across to this right-hand side. Ricky Shakes, the number 8, does well, good turn. Looking for support. Comes back, finds it in the form of Billy Clifford. Now Callum Joe. Adam Boys does well, goes in, but they pick up the ball again, and Billy Clifford goes for goal. Well over the top.
Yeah, it's been a really open start to the game, hasn't it? Lots of passing from Guiseley, lots of dangerous balls into the box, crosses and other balls from deep. Just keeping an eye on Adam Lockwood, who's struggling a little bit with his left wrist or forearm. I suspect he landed on that heavily in that big pylon collision in the box a few moments ago. And if you're 6 feet up in the air and falling flat, there's every chance you can hurt yourself, and he's feeling that. He keeps feeling the left forearm or wrist.
Good goal kick from Stephen James. Finds Jake Lowell. He chests it down, then he's been clearly pulled back by Cam Joe. So the free kick given in Guiseley's favour. Fairly central inside the Boreham Wood half. Level with the edge of the centre circle. And a good chance for Ryan Toulson just to drop this into the penalty area. Free kick goes in towards the back post. Atkinson was there. Nobody there to pick up a second ball from a Guiseley perspective. But Boreham Wood don't clear it well. Now with Craddock on the right-hand side. Back to Hatfield. Hatfield's first time ball in. Not a bad one, but it headed away well by Callum Reynolds. Now Maris has just been caught in possession there. Ricky Shakes, the man chasing it. The ball back from Hatfield, almost a little bit short, but drenched as well. Read that, came out, gets there ahead of Ricky Shakes. And now the ball again coming forward from Boreham Wood. Jamie Lucas looking to put Lockwood under pressure. Lockwood turns and clears, but only finds the Boreham Wood shirt. And here's Clifford again, cutting in field. Plays a great ball across towards Sean McDonald. Great work from Danny Lowe to intercept the crossfield pass. And now Hatfield, still inside the Guiseley half. Now with Lawler. Now Toulson. Looks to play it over the top. But Wayne Brooksby made a much more attacking run. So possession given back to the visitors. Here's De Vera. He goes back to the goalkeeper.
Looking more comfortable this afternoon so far than he was on Wednesday, Danny Lowe. Was given a torrid time by Adam Smith and then Caden Jackson towards the end of that game. Today he's got George Maris in front of him, who's got a bit of a defensive brief in his game as well.
Here's Brooksby. Just outside the Boreham Wood box. Ball forced back to their keeper, James Russell. He clears it forward first time. Danny Lowe does well, gets his hand on it. Finds Lockwood. Into the centre circle now with Hatfield. Atkinson. He'll go for the long ball through the middle, looking to find the run of Craddock, but De Vera does well and nods that one back to the goalkeeper.
Still a bit worried about Adam Lockwood. He's not happy with something with his left arm. I mean, he's no wimp. I'm sure if he can carry on, he will. But it wouldn't be the worst game in the world, actually, at some point to reintroduce Danny Hall to the first team today. If the game goes as it is, it looks like a decent fit for him. In fact, do you know what? If Guiseley were to be doing well in the game, there's a couple of lads on the bench who would be quite well suited to getting some first team minutes today.
Yes, I've got an idea who you may be thinking of there, but we'll come back to that in a moment. As Clifford now down the left-hand side, gets to the edge of the 18-yard box, looks to cross it in right-footed. Ricky Shakes was there, but Danny Lowe does well. The touch from Maris isn't the best, but he gets well, recovers possession for Guiseley. Now here's Hatfield. Brings it up towards the halfway line, turns back, goes to Jake Lawler inside the centre circle. He looks to play the ball. I think he was aiming for Brooksby there, but a little hard to tell. There's plenty of blue shirts around. Hatfield does well. He expected the free kick, didn't get it, but played on to retain possession for Guiseley. Ball down that right-hand side, looking for Brooksby. Intercepted again. Hatfield, once again, he seems to be everywhere so far. He's chasing everything down. Is Will Hatfield, as Guiseley just at the moment struggling to keep possession of the ball through. Looking like Jamie Lucas. Lucas is offside. And his shot was straight at Stephen Drench anyway.
Yeah, I love watching Will Hatfield playing in midfield. He covers so much ground. As you say, he doesn't stop running at all. It's really good fun to watch. The fact that he's actually a very skillful player and a good passer is helpful, because it means he's not just a one-dimensional sort of run around and get around people sort of player.
Well, the free kick from the offside goes all the way through. Yeah, I was going to say cliche bingo cards at the ready, but he's a bit of a terrier when he's in the centre of the park, isn't he?
Do you know, if he was 6 inches taller, you wouldn't say that. It's funny. It's funny how words go with things like that.
Adam Boyce does well here, chases it down. Anybody there? There's Craddock. A great chance for Tom Craddock, but he pulls it over the top of the crossbar. He was leaning back as he struck it. He opened his body up, hit it right-footed, and he got that a couple of yards over the top of the crossbar. Just leaning back that little bit too much. Got to keep your head above the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. That was it. He just the ball was slightly ahead of him from where he wanted to play it, and so in reaching to side foot it, he placed it directionally all right, but really high because it was just slightly ahead of him, and so he had to lean back as he was playing the ball.
And we said the same on Wednesday about Adam Boyes in terms of he needs a goal. And again, Tom Craddock is a man that hasn't scored since the 1-0 victory away at Braintree.
Well, Tom's a different story again, isn't he? I mean, it's hard to know how far or to what extent he's restarted his football career even at this point. You know, you can't say he just needs a couple of goals to get back into it. He hasn't got a track record before that for maybe 2 years to go on with the injuries that he had. So we are just waiting to see what sort of a footballer he still is.
Well, 2 goals so far this season. Adam Boyes on 3. Liam Dickinson, sure he'll be listening in on 4 goals. Although, as I just made the point, he got his first from open play on Wednesday night, getting on the end of a free kick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tortoise race, our top scorers chart. I'm sorry.
It's a fair point, though, when you consider that I think Bromley have got Emmanuel on 13 goals so far this season, the league's leading goal scorer. But then again, look at the form that Bromley have been in recent weeks. Meanwhile, Boreham Wood have possession. Tried to clear it down. The ball falls kindly to Adam Boyes. And now the ball from Brooksby over to this left-hand side. Finds Maris as he charges down, gets inside the 18-yard box. He's got defender up and him. Went for a couple of step-overs, perhaps did too much. The ball now, though, still with Guiseley. Back to Lowe. Lowe's crossing is a good one. Up towards Craddock. Intercepted well by a Boreham Wood shirt. Now Clifford sends that back to Woodards. Great headed ball forward from Adam Lockwood. He finds Craddock. Craddock with a bit of space to run into, gets away from 3 and then goes for goal. I kind of feel like we've gone from one extreme to the other all of a sudden. You know, on Wednesday night, I had my moment of, just shoot. And on this occasion, we're going a little bit more freely. Almost, I say shoot on sight. We haven't really hit the target so far, but we are shooting more.
Well, this is
We've gone from one extreme to the other almost.
This is what I always say when people say, we just need to take 5 times as many shots. There's no point if you aren't any good at shooting from distance, and some of the players will be and some of them just won't be, then there's not really that much point in trying it.
To be fair, we haven't had that chance of finding out who's good from distance and who isn't because we haven't shot from distance all season.
No, fair enough. but
I think we may be learning.
But a lot of these are experienced players, and they know that they know their own game, don't they? And it's a thing that people say about Danny Boschel sometimes is he doesn't shoot enough, but he's been playing long enough to know what he's good at and what he's not good at, and so he plays to his strengths.
Great sliding challenge from Connor Clifford. Retrieves possession for Boreham Wood, but they've got it inside their own box as De Vera sends it long downfield. Ricky Shakes does well up against Danny Lowe. Still Shakes goes. The ball goes out of play. The final touch came off the Boreham Wood man. So that's a goal kick for Steve Drench.
Great challenge that actually by Danny Lowe. I thought Shakes had him just about beaten for pace there, but he made up the ground well and a good shoulder-to-shoulder challenge saw the ball stewarded out safely. We're trying to keep the noise down today, aren't we? We're being a bit better behaved. I mean us, you and me. I don't mean the fans. We're always very quiet as fans.
I was going to say, I think it's because it's more noticeable if we're that little bit louder today.
Yeah.
To be fair, there was a great atmosphere and a lot of noise at Wrexham. There's generally a good atmosphere here, but the noise doesn't always come with it.
Well, there aren't 3,000 plus, are there? I believe that the attendance on Wednesday was the largest league attendance that Guiseley have ever played in front of. I'm told that. I'm not sure that's been verified.
If it is, then that's a terrific stat so far.
Well, we're breaking new ground all season this year as well, but that was a good one because you wouldn't have had that attendance here at Nethermore, certainly not in the modern era. Potentially back in the early 20th century before ground regulations became a lot tighter.
Yeah, I think it was around about the 4,000 mark, wasn't it, at Wrexham?
It was 3,500, I think. Yeah, 3,500.
Which I think actually will be a disappointing attendance. Having spoken to some of the guys there before kick-off, they were hoping for just over 4. But again, their winless run similar to ours at that point as well. So it takes its toll as Boreham Wood come forward. And they've lifted through. Jamie Lucas, Trench does well, gets there, puts it out for a throw. But that was very dangerous from Guiseley.
That's really good goalkeeping from Drench, because if he'd come tearing straight out, he would have arrived too early. He had to actually hold on for just a second and then come. Calamitous defending, really, by Guiseley, but good sweeping up.
Nobody wants to arrive too early. Here's Camjo. Now Hatfield. Does well, turns, gets away from 3, then ends up running into trouble. Somehow into free kick when he basically just ran straight into Clovis Camjo. The free kick's been taken quickly, and the referee's not happy with that. Hatfield is still down on all fours at the moment.
Yeah, I think Guiseley would have been happy to. I'm sidestepping. I'm not going anywhere near it, Chris. Guiseley would have been happy to have taken that quickly, but with Hatfield down, the referee thought it was in their interest to stop it. It means Danny Lowe will take this just inside the Guiseley half, but everybody ahead of him, most people on the edge of the box.
Yeah, there's just Toulson in the centre circle. Everybody else is forward as the free kick finds Maris in space. He went short with it. Maris now gets a slightly better cross in. Headed away, and the offside flag goes up, I believe, against Adam Lockwood.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it was a good chance to form something, but nothing came along. So, we've played 23 minutes, Nick.
It's just quite a nice, pleasant game to watch so far. There's not been too much drama, not too much excitement. Good passing football.
You can never have too much excitement in football.
Well,
especially for us, let's face it.
I think I'm banned after the playoff final. I'm banned from too much football excitement.
Can we do the same for pessimism? Seeing how you were at half time. Anyway,
That's
You're never going to live it down, though.
Not if Danny Boschel keeps reminding me about it every time I chuff and see him.
And the guy in the club shop. Anyway, here's Brooksby on the ball inside the Boreham Wood half. Sends it back to Atkinson. Atkinson looks for the diagonal ball. And if Maris can bring this down, which he does, I thought he was almost going to get onto the knockdown from Sam Cox. Goalkeeper's, I missed that then. I thought the goalkeeper had that covered, Nick, if you were watching.
No, it was dreadful. The goalkeeper just was lackadaisical in kicking from hands, and Maris just closed him down, took it off of him. Robbed him of the ball, obviously wanted a free kick. The referee didn't give it, and in the end, the defenders did well to save Russell's blushes.
That's one of those incidents, isn't it, when a goalkeeper goes to kick from his hands and it's closed down. But you may see once, twice this season at most. Adam Boyce now up against the Boreham Wood man. The referee is giving the free kick. Adam Boyce puts it into the net, but the flag on the far side from the official is up. And the referee's seen it and given a free kick. It's Adam Boyce who's just to have pushed and tugged on the defender.
Well, the important thing is it was a good ball through, and Boyce had the defender beaten for strength and for pace.
Free kick or not in your eyes?
I don't agree with the decision that the referee gave.
Been very diplomatic this afternoon, Nick.
Quite tired today.
Here's Cox, now De Vera. Sends it downfield, Danilo does well, wins the header against Ricky Shakes. Now Maris. He just loses the ball and Shakes looks to get away from him and wins a free kick.
That's a very soft one as well, although I can understand why that one was given.
Yeah, Shakes was trying to get away. For me, he kind of knocked the ball ahead, realised he'd lost it, and then went down.
Yeah.
Free kick given, and it's Billy Clifford, number 20, to take this set piece. Delivers it, right-footed. Steve Drench does well, comes and claims he's caught by a Boreham Wood man. No malice in it, though. And it's just going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, he'll have felt that landing, Drench, but he'll have been relieved to see that he came down with it in both hands still. Really good catch.
As he rolls the ball down in front of him, then clears it downfield. Looking for Craddock. Now Lawler. Good ball out to Ryan Toulson on that right-hand side. Comes across, gets the cross in. Craddock's there, comes across as far as Maris. Maris inside the 18-yard box, pulls it back off the line, but the referee's given a free kick. There's the flag's up on the far side. Your take on that? I was watching the play. Did you see anything in that, Nick?
No, I think it's for the tussle between the defender and Craddock.
No.
I think.
Surely not.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't see a foul. He wasn't. The linesman wasn't signalling for an offside. He was definitely flagging a foul.
Meanwhile, the effort from Maris off the line.
Yeah, I mean, the guys, they have played well and they've made opportunities. I just obviously as the half goes on, I'm aware that we've said things like Guiseley have made some good chances a few times this season.
You kind of get that Aldershot feeling.
Well,
Slightly.
No, I don't, because Aldershot were clearly quite a good team. A better team than Boreham would look, actually, at the moment. Boreham would look quite average, to be honest.
Long ball forward from Boreham Wood. Steve Drench does well. Comes to the edge of his box and claims it.
Sorry, Chris. I'm not saying they're without risk or without goal threat. They're obviously a decent team, and they're fighting for the new manager today in his first game. But I don't get the impression they're the pros that Aldershot were on that day.
Now the ball picked up by Lawler inside the Boreham Wood half. Toulson back to Atkinson. Now with Tully again. Ball forward. Finds Brooksby. Got blue shirts around him though, being constantly harried. Here's Lawler. And now Brooksby again looks to come forward, gets to the edge of the 18-yard box, pulls it across, looking for either Craddock or Maris. The options were there. Headed back into the box by Lawler. Hatfield on the edge. Comes out to Toulson. Toulson thought about trying to swing a foot at that, but Boreham Wood pick up possession now with Charlie McDonald. Still inside the Boreham Wood half. Cleared away by them. Atkinson does well, gets a head on it. Hatfield looks to go for a fancy touch and fluffed his lines. And now Connor Clifford finds Billy Clifford. Back to Connor. Now with Billy. That might be easier, I think, for those two, Nick. First names.
Connor and Billy.
Connor and Billy. As the ball in towards the Guiseley box is headed away well by Rob Atkinson.
Sounds like a country and western band.
Connor and Billy.
Maybe bluegrass.
Sing the hits of the Midwest. You know when you kind of just put too much thought into something? I think I've just done that.
That's my entire shtick, if I'm honest.
Long ball downfield now by Boreham Wood from their left-back position. It was Woodards that's got that clear. It's beaten absolutely everybody and gone for a goal kick. We've played 29 minutes, Nick, and we are goalless, but chances have been created. Boreham Wood haven't created too much.
No, they haven't, but they have got in behind Guiseley's defence once or twice, and it's been really alert keeping by Drench that's held them out. If I was Guiseley right now, and if I was Stephen Drench, I'd be launching this ball long because the sun is out, it's low, it's the first time it's come out all day. The goalkeeper's been shielding his eyes in the last couple of minutes.
It's an unusually short goal kick as well from Stephen Drench.
It is, but with the shadows this length on the pitch, I would be having a go at playing some balls into that box and just seeing you can trade on some of that uncertainty. Speaking of which...
Yeah, McDonald putting Adam Lockwood under pressure. Rob Atkinson hoofs the clearance out on top of the club shop and behind onto the cricket side of the... onto the cricket pitch. Throw in now for Boreham Wood. Back to Woodards. Now with De Vera. Opts to go along, looking for Shake, staying low, gets his head onto it, sends it back downfield. Now Cox sends it back down that line, but again, Daniel Lowe is there. Now Lawler, back to Atkinson. Again, Boreham Wood committing one or two sky blue shirts forward, looking to press and harry Guiseley when they have possession in the back line. Long ball forward from Guiseley has been cut out. Now De Vera. Now with Reynolds, the captain, downfield, aimless. Atkinson, eventually the ball gets across to Toulson. His long ball forward, again intercepted by Boreham Wood. High ball into the box, easy for James Russell to deal with.
I've just seen that earlier. Dave tweeted out on our account that Boreham Wood isn't a real wood.
He did do this. He did do that. Meanwhile, Ricky Shakes comes forward. I'm not entirely sure that was a cross or a shot, in all honesty. Either way, wasn't very good, and it's a goal kick.
Which raises two questions in my mind. One, what other place names are lies? And two, why is no one else on Twitter today apart from us? It's at Guiseley Radio. No one's without Dicko's online Barmy Army. It's all very quiet on there today.
Do you mean Bev, by any chance?
Well, and his
fan club.
His cult following, who are presumably all at the game here.
Good knock through from Adam Boys, looking to find Craddock. It's been put out of play by Joe De Vera. Yes, do get in touch with us at Guiseley Radio. We are looking at you here, Bev.
I don't think she's there.
No, maybe Liam. If Liam's tuned in, he can tweet us. Throwing now finds the feet of Tom Craddock. Craddock forced to go back to Toulson. He tried to play it infield. It's been intercepted. Atkinson recovers though, gets it forward again. And down the line, Toulson's there. Just all got a little bit scrappy in these last 5 minutes or so. Maris. Now with Lowe on the halfway line. Plays short to Maris. Does well. Good footwork. Gets him away from Ricky Shakes. Now Brooksby. Good first time ball. Here's Hatfield. Gets up to the edge of the 18-yard box. He was stumbling and falling. And Boreham able to come away with it. Jake Lawler does bring down the Boreham Wood man, Charlie McDonald. Experienced centre forward, using all of his know-how there to earn inside a free kick.
Yeah, the challenge came in from Lawler, got the ball at the first attempt but didn't manage to retain it, and the striker had the opportunity to go down.
1 or 2 metre challenges go in. It's the ball on the halfway line with Cox for Boreham Wood. Up towards Camcho. Good work from Daniel Lowe. Gets there ahead of him. And now Hatfield. Sprays that across to Toulson. Toulson goes in field looking to find Boys. It rolls all the way through to Craddock. Craddock returns that to Boys, then to Lawler. Now, great ball across from Lawler. Finds George Maris on his left-hand side. Lowe makes the overlapping run. Maris goes in field, goes for goal. Just too high. It was always rising. We saw him have a brilliant effort in the Lincoln game from good 30 yards out, where he had a right-footed shot and it went up and dipped and clipped the top of the crossbar. A bit closer in that one. Similar technique, though, but this one, it just never came back down.
I mean, the good thing with Maris is that he does seem to have 2 decent feet, and so the defender doesn't know which way Maris is going to go when he's facing up against him. But he does like to come inside, and he does back himself to shoot on that right foot. And I haven't really seen the evidence for the number of times he's done that rather than choosing to square it to a teammate.
Now, Camjo for Boreham Wood, midway inside the Guiseley half. But that's great work from Wayne Brooksby to recover the ball for Guiseley. Comes across to find Maris. Short pass back to Hatfield. Now with Lowe on this left-hand side, looking to get forward. Inside to Maris. Good, neat passing from Guiseley. Now with Craddock, a little bit of time. Sprays it across to the right-hand side where Toulson is waiting. Receives the ball. Infield to Brooksby. But forced to go backwards. Again, that is just the organisation and the number of sky blue shirts at the back, making it difficult as the ball goes all the way back to Stephen Drench, hence the 1 or 2 ironic cheers.
Yeah, I don't see the justification for that. It's good possession play by Guiseley. They look for an opening, they haven't got it, they held on to the ball.
Now Maris, lovely little flip back heel, throwing goes against Daniel Lowe though. The official on his near side is giving the throw.
Yeah, there was nothing from the linesman on the far side, who's half of the pitch this is, really. The referee decided to give it.
I think 1 or 2 home fans there feeling that he saw a few yards. The ball picked up now by Jamie Lucas, bearing down on the 18-yard box, gets onto his left foot, blocked once and twice. Atkinson with a poor kick up into the air. Eventually dealt with by Lockwood, only out as far as Low on this left-hand side. Looks to come forward. Up against Ricky Shakes, though, goes down. I've not got a clue which way that's going. It's gone against Guiseley. And a free kick given, won by Ricky Shakes.
Yeah, Guiseley had an opportunity to clear that there. I mean, Lowe was doing his best to clear it uncontested, but actually he needed to just blast it against the oncoming player and win the throw-in just to settle it down.
Just realised just how far up the pitch the Boreham Wood keeper's come. James Russell in this situation. Midway inside his own half. The free kick, 8 to 9 yards to the right of the 18-yard box inside the Guiseley half. Billy Clifford rather, stood over this one. Takes it right-footed towards the back post. Camjo was coming in, but it's been dealt with. Only out as far as Adam Boys, who's looked to go for a better clearance and he's been closed down. Camjo putting Toulson under pressure. Adam Boys is there on his own byline and has ended up inadvertently conceding a corner.
Oh, that's good pressure by Boreham Wood and Clamjo in particular. Boys and Tilson both looking for opportunities to clear it there, and they just couldn't get a site where they could hoof it up the pitch.
So, we've got a corner for Boreham Wood. 37 minutes gone here at Nethermore. Guiseley 0, Boreham Wood 0. Here on Guiseley Radio as the corner comes in for Boreham Wood up towards the head of Clovis Camjo. Headed away and flicked up further away by Boys. Picked up by Ricky Shakes. He plays the ball to Cox. Cox, first time, swings it into the Guiseley penalty area. Might by the head of Lucas. Brooksby flicks that further away. Tom Craddock will look to try and get this under, but he's been put under pressure by Ricky Shakes, and Shakes has done well to win possession back there for the visitors. Now Billy Clifford. He plays the ball forward. Good work from Brooksby, but possession regained by Boreham Wood. Good ball across to this right-hand side for Boreham Wood. Finds Cox. Cox does well. Gets away from George Maris. Cross comes in. Up towards the back post. Lockwood's there. Gets it away. More so from Hatfield. Now Clifford. Into Connor Clifford. Comes across. Finds Camjo. Midway inside the Guiseley half. Ricky Shakes being put under pressure by George Maris. Now with Cox. Boreham Wood's turn to have a spell of possession, it seems. Now Camjo. Lovely little turn and ball from Connor Clifford. Plays the 1-2 with Billy. Back to Connor. On the edge of the 18-yard box. Goes for goal. Lifts that too high over the top of the crossbar.
Really good passage of play for Boreham Wood. They did everything right in that passage. Kept the ball, moved it around, worked out an opening. Eventually got one they could shoot from. Went over the bar, which is good from a Guiseley point of view. But they've shown they've got they carry an attacking threat. Just watching Will Hatfield, who's limping still a bit at the moment. Came off the worst from a challenge a couple of moments ago.
Yeah, he's not moving freely as such, but no doubt he'll be able to shake that off as we are 6 minutes away from the half-time break. Still goalless here between these two sides. As Lawler goes in, does well, gets the ball, but then unable to pick up possession. James Russell forced to clear. Good closing down from Tom Craddock. Lawler does well, heads it forward. Boys puts the defender under pressure. But Boreham Wood pick up possession again. Good turn though from George Maris. Brings it forward, midway inside the Boreham Wood half. Have a go perhaps. He doesn't. Try to slip the ball into Adam Boys. And it was a nice idea, but it really was eye of a needle stuff if he'd have been trying to slip that through there.
Well, Boys asked for it. He was pointing to where he wanted the ball. I think possibly Maris held on just a second too long, and the opportunity was gone. The defender came across and closed the gap.
Now, Danny Lowe swings it across up towards Boys. Defender does well there in Danny Woodard's. Hence that back to the goalkeeper, Russell.
And it does look like a bit like one of the early season games here at the moment, Chris, where definitely had the best of the possession, definitely made the best of the opportunities, restricted Boreham Wood to half chances and defensive kind of slips and sneak throughs. But it's still 0-0, and the longer that carries on, the more nervous we get.
Very much so. 41 minutes gone. Guiseley 0. Boreham Wood 0. As Hatfield plays the ball into Craddock. A little bit of space. Brooksby goes around the outside, onto the right side, inside the 18-yard box. Pulls it across. Terrible cross. Easy for Joe De Vera to deal with. Puts it out for a throw. Ryan Toulson takes it. Back to Atkinson. Now with Toulson again. Played across to Lockwood, who stood inside the Guiseley half of the centre circle. Sprays that. Further over to that right-hand side. Flick on from Brooksby, finds Toulson. Still Toulson. He's got Woodards ahead of him. Make it very difficult. Eventually tries to get the cross in, but it's been blocked and closed down well by Boreham Wood. Now Lawler. Hatfield tries to chest it through. Cross comes in from Toulson. A little bit of a tricky one there for Cox to deal with. Up into the air. Boys caught, but never going to get a penalty out of that. Now Lowe. Once again, the cross looking to find Adam Boys. Instead, it drops through for Brooksby. And Boreham Wood forced to turn that behind for a Guiseley corner.
Good move. Boys got the call from Brooksby to leave it. Brooksby was about to bring it down, just whipped away off of his foot by the defender just in the nick of time. As the right winger found himself in unexpected space inside the box. Another corner.
42 minutes gone here on Guiseley Radio. Guiseley nil, Boreham Wood nil as the corner comes in. Headed up and away by Boreham Wood. Connor Clifford gets the extra touch to get that further away. Daniel Lowe just hoists it up towards the edge of the Boreham Wood 18-yard box and away again it goes. Now picked up by Jamie Lucas. McDonald in field. Finds Billy Clifford. Lawler tries to harry. All the way back, the ball goes to Woodard. Good ball over to this right hand side though, finds Cox. In field find Billy Clifford. That's back to Connor. He tries to swing the ball out to the left hand side. But Jamie Lucas is waiting and does get possession, but he's in an offside position. Free kick for Guiseley.
So I guess the half-time conversation, if you're having it with Dave, will turn towards thoughts of substitutions and options on the bench that Mark could use in the second half. Today's a day, actually, as the first half's gone on, where I've changed my mind that I'd be quite tempted to leave the team as it is in the second half. I think we're playing quite well, and I think we stand a pretty good chance of things coming for us if we carry on as we are doing. I think I'd only make the change if after half-time it's obvious that we're not making the chances we were doing in the first half.
Good work from Billy Clifford. Tried to turn and get the ball across, but Hatfield was there, read the play. Ball sent back now to James Russell. First time clearance. Lawler does well, reads the game, gets his hand onto it, but Boys can't control that. That is an almost brilliant ball. If Maris was a couple of further yards forward, that would have been superb from Jake Law on the volley.
Really nice idea, that very long diagonal volleyed pass. Would have been great if that had come off.
35 seconds plus added time of the first half to go. Just a reminder, on the bench for Guiseley, all the Dans, Danny Boschel, Danny Holt and Dan Atkinson, with Nicky Boschel and Luke Porritt. There's a man that perhaps could make an impact in this game if it's, if we're still 0-0 come the 65-70 minute mark.
Yeah, it's not a bad one to try him out in, although Maris has played well in the first half, who's the man who would have to make way for Porritt.
Ball forward, Adam Boys gives chase. Goes out of play. Off Adam Boys for a goal kick. And there's just going to be the 1 minute of added time. Unsurprising, really. Yeah,
there's not been any stoppages. It's been a good open game. No one down for any length of time with injuries, and it's flowed well. Not many fouls or a great number of set pieces either. Had a a tweet even, whatever, from Paul Wilcock. He says he's listening to us. Bless him. He's listening to us while painting a fence.
Well, here's George Maris bearing down, gets to the edge of the 18-yard box as well, turns away, goes for goal, pulls it back just wide of the upright. He went across goal. There was one or two white shirts that were charging in at the same time. It could have got a touch of either end, but it didn't. It could have sneaked in itself, but instead it's been for a goal kick.
Oh, it just needed a touch on the end of it. And there's all sorts of... It does annoy me a little bit, if I'm honest, people shaking their heads in the stand here. Someone should have finished it. It was all in the timing. The ball came across. There were about 3 Guiseley players sliding in. They all arrived at different points.
And that was along with Boreham Wood defenders as well, as we said.
And nobody was there at the exact point in the second to put it behind.
And there we go. The referee, John Brooks, blows the half-time whistle. We've had a relatively entertaining but goalless first half here at Nethermore. Half-time, Guiseley 0, Boreham Wood 0.
Yeah, well, a good game, as I say. Good open play, lots of passing, open midfield, not too crowded in there. Both teams trying to play football on the floor. And we match up fairly well physically today, which means it's a bit more of an even game athletically to watch as well. I think it should be a good second half, but obviously at 0-0, the longer it goes on, the more nervous it gets. It's a long time since we've seen a win here at Nethermore. we know the players and the fans will all get nervous as we get closer towards the end of the game, and we'll just have to see what actually happens in the second half.
Absolutely. Well, I'll quickly run you through the half-time scores before we take a quick break. In the Vanarama National League, Aldershot 1, Bromley 1, Barrow 0, Welling 1, Cheltenham 1, Eastleigh 0, Chester 1, Halifax 0, Dover 1, Macclesfield 1, Forest Green 0, Tranmere Rovers 2, Gateshead 0, Altrincham 0, Guiseley 0, Boreham Wood 0, Southport 0, Kidderminster 0, that's at Kidderminster, Lincoln City 0, Braintree 0, Torquay United 1, Grimsby Town 0, and Woking 0, Wrexham 1. So that brings you up to date with the half-time scores across the Vanarama National League. We'll be back with you in around about 10 minutes' time for second half match coverage here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Stay tuned for that. First of all, how do you feel about the performance and the result?
I thought on the whole, we played really well. Coming to a big side, good side, they started the season really well. A little bit of dipping form recently, but, they'll certainly be expected to beat us. And we came and we knew they'd look to pass the ball. We had a plan to deal with that. And scored a really good goal ourselves. I think the 2 goals that they scored in the first half were just completely self-inflicted. Errors that you can't really legislate for. So at half-time we had a little chat and the lads came out an absolutely superb second half. Thought, the way we moved it about, create chances, looked really solid. And once we got in front, thought we'd comfortably see it out. And I suppose it's just a matter of time in this conversation before we start talking about a referee, which, again, has, in my view, clearly cost us points tonight.
I think from where we were seeing Wrexham fans may feel that he possibly cost them 3 points in the free kick that led to our second goal.
I think you were pushing the back. I think the lads tried to win it from Gav, and he shoved him in the back. And a free kick to 40 yards from goal. If that's all they've got to complain about, then try. A red card when we're clean through on goal should have been. The lad when he gets booked should have been sent off. Gavin Rodri wins the ball cleanly in midfield, and the red card's produced. And then at the end, the equalising goal that they score. I can see it on the bench. It's handball. All lads in the penalty area can see the handball. Unfortunately, again, a referee can't see handball against us. And what should have been 3 points ends up being 1.
With discipline, that's only his first red card, as you say, completely unjust. But from a discipline side, I think we have looked disciplined this season to get 17 games in without a red.
Especially, in modern day football, it's not a red card. We should be sat here 17 games in with no red cards. I think we're first or second best in terms of the fair play thing, which is something that we feel we need to do in this league. If you give away free kicks and let people have set piece and put them in your box, then you're asking for trouble. So we encourage the lads to stay on the feet and not give silly free kicks away. But Gav just clearly plays the ball. If the lad runs into his foot as he's falling into it, it's not even a tackle. Gav's passing the ball. He's there. It's a 60-40, and he gets there first and passes the ball. And the lad runs into him. He goes down screaming. As soon as the red card comes out, he's back up on his feet and he's absolutely fine. Just thought the referee was completely. He fell for it basically. But again, we just have to deal with not just the opponents that we're playing against, but the decisions that are going against us. I thought we had some shockers early on in the season. I thought it calmed down a bit after that, but the last couple of games has just been so difficult to take. I feel really sorry for the boys in there. They're absolutely gutted. We've come away to Wrexham, we've lost 3 on the bounce. If anyone would have said, would you take a point beforehand? Most people around here would have said, yeah, but the lads are absolutely gutted with the point because they feel again that it's been snatched away from us, not from our poor play, but from things that are beyond our control, i.e., decisions. But we've got to take a lot of heart from the performance. We've got games coming up now, 2 home games in the league and an FA Cup game that we need to be going and getting some points in. Because it's all well and good as patting ourselves on the back that we put in another decent performance, good performance. We're probably for a number of reasons short on the number of points that we should have got by now.
Looking at the positives from tonight's game, the timing of Liam Dickinson's introduction was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, he came onto the free kick and smashed that against the bar, and then we just felt they had a lack of height in their side. Boys had won quite a few headers in the first half, so we just felt if we got Dick up there alongside him, it might be a weakness that we could exploit. And with the Jake coming on as well, a big physical presence, we sort of looks like we had a bit more height, a bit more strength, a bit more physical presence in them, and we looked to try and get the ball up to them and exploit that, and it paid off on that occasion. And then obviously Dicko brings it down well and great ball into Boyce's path. Boyce shows his pace and really pleased for him because he has missed a few chances this season, but the one thing that you can guarantee from Boyce, he'll always get himself in a position to miss a chance. So whereas probably not the conversion rate that some of the top strikers in this league has, he gets himself lots of chances because he's clever and his runs he makes off the ball, and he always gets himself in position to miss those chances. So absolutely delighted for him that it went in. Just gutted for him and the rest of the lads that it was snatched away from us at the end.
Talking about Boyce's goal, was a stunning finish, and the relief he seemed to let out during his celebration that getting back on the score sheet again.
Yeah, exactly. He's a striker, and strikers are judged in the goals that they score. And just pleased for him because he keeps going. He'll always, like I said, get himself in those positions to miss those chances. And great finish. He showed what he's capable of. He showed his pace. He's running off the ball. He's always willing to get in there, and hopefully that can give him a little boost and a bit of a kickstart again. Because what Boise does is when he does get himself on a little run, he can score goal after goal. And I'm sure, I certainly hope that's the case, and he will do too.
And taking a point away from here, it ends the short losing streak of 3 in the bounce ahead of 2 league home games against Boreham and Welling. How important do you feel they are at the moment, given the league table and the situation they're in?
Very important, yeah. I mean, the Boreham and Welling will probably look at the game against us and see it as an opportunity for them to get points on the board. And as we've seen in the league this season, no one's going to give you anything. Everything is fiercely competitive, and they're going to be tough games into the players in the dressing room. We've had 4 games against big established conference type and football league type teams in Lincoln, Macclesfield, Forest Green, and Wrexham. The game on Saturday against Boreham will be harder than any of the 4 that we've played because with that, a little bit more expectation on us. But we've got to go out and show the same work ethic and confidence and quality that we showed at times tonight. And if we do that, then we're capable of getting a result. If we take our foot off the gas, if we're sloppy like we were for little spells in the first half, we'll get punished. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But it's good, certainly good that we've broken that duck, and just hope the lads can. We won't see them between now and Saturday, but just hope they can get that out of the system and look forward to the game. And if we can get 3 points on the board again, it gives everyone a boost. And we've got that 3 week leading up to the cup tie. I think we've played 17 games now in just over 2 months for a part-time side. For that run to sort of end as we've played some of the big full-time teams, I think lads deserve a lot of credit for how they kept going. At times when we've been up against it and losing games, and at times tonight where we've done well and should have really won.
We haven't spoken since the FA Cup draw, as we've referred to there, sandwiched in between these 2 home league games. FA Cup 4th round qualifier, the gods have decided on a draw away at the arch rivals, for the fans at least. FC Halifax down away. Of course, themselves haven't been on a great run.
No. Saw them play last night at Grimsby, and obviously they're in a difficult position at the moment. But as any team can, in between the sort of 7 goal defeats that they've had, they've won away at Altrincham, which is a difficult place to go. Altrincham beating like Grimsby and Tranmere there this season, so you can't
Camjo. Bournemouth just looking to keep possession at the moment in the centre of the park. Now Guiseley pick up the ball but then give it away as quickly as soon as it comes back to them. Kendra again now plays a good ball through, looking for John McDonald. McDonald can't get there, and Steve Drench is there to get on the end of it. We've played about 3.5 minutes of the second half. It is Guiseley 0, Boreham Wood 0. Now Lawler is just giving that ball away, and Lucas plays it out to the right hand side, finds Ricky Shakes. Shakes coming down that right hand side. Cross comes in. Toulson and Drench almost get themselves in a little bit of a mix up. The Guiseley man down in the centre of the park at the moment. Stephen Drench dealt with that ball.
Apologies if we were off air. We are back on now. We don't know quite why we were down there. But you haven't missed too much. Adam Lockwood is the man down at the moment in the centre of the field. And he's clutching possibly that injured arm. And Club Doctor here just sat in front of us in the stand looking like he might head down onto the pitch.
Yeah, as you say, it was Adam Lockwood that went down. And he's certainly seems to be in some pain at the moment. Didn't seem to be too much in it. It just seemed to be the way he came down again from the challenge.
We'll wait and see what he's actually holding, but he was hurting a little bit in the first half. Adam Lockwood, and he's obviously in some pain, but it wasn't clear from the way he was curled up on the floor exactly what's wrong with him. Do apologise for those of you who missed the start of the second half there. Just let us know if we're coming out clearly now, as tends to be the way at Nethermore. We had an equipment malfunction. We're nothing if not tin pot.
So Stephen Drench, who now also has a baseball cap, which he wasn't using in the first half, but of course now second half facing directly into the sun as Jake Lawler misses his touch, and that feeds the ball to McDonald. Comes forward now to Lucas. Lucas plays a good ball over to that right hand side, finds Ricky Shakes. Shakes pulls back the early cross. Rob Atkinson gets there, not fully cleared away by Guiseley. Now with Connor Clifford, turns, finds Billy. Ball just bounces up ahead of him, gets the edge of the 18-yard box though, pulls it through, looking to find Lucas. Shot comes in, and it's been put in, but the offside flag is up against Jamie Lucas. It was Charlie McDonald who had the initial shot, which Steve Drench could only parry out straight into the feet of Lucas. But the offside flag is up and saves Guiseley from going a goal behind.
Yeah, a bit of a let-off for the Lions that, and it's been a sleepy start to the second half so far. And almost just to emphasise that gush of wind blows hundreds of leaves down off of the trees behind the goal. That's the only thing happening out on the pitch. Guys, they need to wake up.
Don't forget, get in touch with us on Twitter at Guiseley Radio. Biv Dickinson's been in touch, giving a bit of an update on Liam's situation as the ball comes forward from Guiseley, cleared away by Boreham Wood. She says that Liam's been, I'll say, ill since 5 o'clock this morning.
Well, it looks like this is Liam who's actually tweeted this on Beverly's account.
Could be. I don't know. Anyway. Point is, Liam's not well, bless him. Hope you get well soon and get yourself back for Halifax next Saturday in the FA Cup, of course. It wasn't really a tie that I think anybody wanted, in honesty, was it?
Well, it's certainly winnable, if nothing else.
We say this, but it's a derby. Anything can happen.
No, but it's a winnable tie against a team that we know aren't in great form, but there'll be a good atmosphere. I mean, it's a bit same old, but other than that, I don't think it's a bad draw.
Now Jamie Lucas inside the guys' box. Good challenge from Rob Atkinson. Ball cleared away by Wayne Brooksby. Now the ball at the feet of Camjo. Tom Craddock looks to close down a defender, but Camjo gets the ball again. Now Connor Clifford. Back to Camjo. These Guiseley just look a little bit sluggish in the opening few minutes of the second half.
Yeah, and you have to remember the game on Wednesday was a real energy sapper, and it was a day later than a normal midweek game. They're going to have to dig very deep, these players. They need to put in another good 45 minutes because they can't see all the good work they did do in the first half undone.
So Guiseley looks to get the ball forward. Tom Craddock not able to chase that, but Guiseley just giving away possession.
In definitive Dickinson news, Liam is asleep in bed.
So I thought it'd be Bev.
And she says the weather's miserable over in Manchester. In fairness, it's not been super bright here, but it's all right.
It's just enough to warrant Drenchy needing a baseball cap for the second half.
Yeah, although he's taking it off at the moment. Possibly someone in the club shop has realised they're one short on stock and sent word out that he hasn't paid.
We'll keep you up to date on Cap Watch.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those afternoons, isn't it?
Yeah, the grey clouds that seem to be moving in, it suddenly might be he's wearing a poncho at some stage.
That would be excellent.
You're picturing that now, aren't you? You really are.
I am.
As the ball comes forward from Boreham up towards Jamie Lucas, but the offside flag on that far side goes up.
Well, guys, they've played the offside trap reasonably well so far this afternoon. Boreham Wood have caught themselves offside too many times. James Headley, club photographer, not here today. He's stuck at work, I think. And he tweets to say he thinks we're missing OJ. And that's exactly what we're missing, or what we need in our team at the moment. And you can't disagree.
Free kick from Steve Drench drops into the Boreham Wood box. Lockwood gets a head on, but it's cleared away. Ball stabbed through. Chad McDonald, great link-up play there to find Billy Clifford, and Billy Clifford is in on goal. Good work, though, from the Guides defence. They've got back just enough to stall him at the edge of the 18-yard box. Plenty of shots ahead. The shot from Clifford came in, and Stephen Drench was absolutely rooted to the spot as it goes barely even a yard wide of that upright. A really good effort and a shot that came from nowhere, really.
Yeah, danger signs carrying on for Guiseley since half-time. Elbows pumping there from Jake Lawler to get back into position and to try and recover that. And they did well at first, and they forced the attack to slow down and to stop, but they didn't keep it clear, and they didn't close down the players who were trying to shoot, and actually that could have been a goal.
Absolutely, because as I say, he was absolutely static with Stephen Drench. You wouldn't have got down to it. Meanwhile, though, Guiseley with George Morris in the Boreham Wood box, and Morris, well, he lost his footing, and in trying to get something on the ball, has brought down a Boreham Wood man and conceded a free kick.
Yeah, it was a challenge out of frustration as much as anything from Maris, that, and a little bit risky, actually. Could risk picking up a yellow card for something like that. He'd not won the challenge, he'd slipped, he was on the floor, he's kicking out at the ball to try and win it on the floor. That's not the way to channel your frustration if you can help it.
As I say, it certainly seems to have been sluggish so far, would you say, Nick?
Been a completely different game since half-time.
Do you think they've just come out?
Well, Boreham would have come out with a lot more energy than they started the first half with, and that's highlighting that we're having to get back and defend more than we want to, which means when we get the ball forward, there aren't as many bodies up there. The two strikers are looking very isolated from the midfield at the moment.
As Jake Lawler goes in and concedes a free kick for a foul on Connor Clifford.
And this is where 4-4-2 is not so clever at the moment. We can't get hold of it in midfield or control it. Can't get anyone forward towards the two strikers who are both playing up against the centre-backs.
It worked well in the first half.
Yeah, and obviously Boreham would have changed at half-time.
I was going to say, they've really sparked into life of Boreham Wood as Guiseley do pick up possession inside their half. And here comes Ryan Toulson down the right-hand side, tries to get the early ball in towards Boys. The touch wasn't good. Connor Clifford goes down and somehow the free kick goes outside on Boys. I don't buy that at all.
No, I don't agree with it. It's adding to the sense of rising anxiety in the ground at the moment. There's a good clearance from Drench, sweeping up a long way out of his area.
That was terrific. A long ball downfield from Boreham Wood, and Steve Drench was a good 10 or 15 yards outside of his own 18-yard box before he swung a foot and got rid. Meanwhile, though, the pressure is back on from Boreham Wood with Ricky Shakes over on the right hand side.
Yeah, Maris just having some help from Danny Lowe here. Maris hadn't managed to get it clear.
Danny Lowe does well, flicks it up, hoops it over the top, down line. And now Maris looks to send Adam Boys away, but that's going to be easy for Joe De Vera to send back to James Russell. Russell takes a touch, springs it across, then clears it downfield. Lucas does well, but Lawler does better. And now Maris spreads the ball well across to Ryan Toulson. That's a little bit better from Guiseley. But then the ball from him, from Ryan Toulson, looking for Brooksby's a poor one. Throw in taken quickly. Now Toulson. Now Lawler. Looks to lift it over the top, and that, again, just a little bit poor. Well, in fact, a little bit underestimating it, perhaps. That wasn't a great ball.
No, it wasn't, and the substitutes are out warming up for Guiseley. And just a reminder of who we've got on the bench today, the assistant manager, Danny Boschel. Though he's not one of the ones warming up at the moment. He's stood with Martin Stringfellow and Mark Bauer in the dugout. And then there's the substitute keeper, Dan Atkinson. But the other three who might be in contention, Danny Hall, the centre-back, Nicky Boschel and Luke Porritt, both left-sided attacking players. To say, actually, George Maris has been one of the best players on the pitch. I think he'd be quite unfortunate to have to make way for either Nicky Boschel or Luke Porritt today.
I think Porritt is something that could make an impact in this game, and I think it wouldn't necessarily have to be at George Maris's expense, in honesty. But Boreham Wood looking to come forward. Rob Atkinson gets a head on, further away by Ryan Toulson, but only out as far as Connor Clifford.
What would you change then, Chris?
Well, Maris is somebody that is capable of going up front if necessary, and Tom Craddock, he's tried hard, but not a great deal for me has come off for Tom Craddock in this game. And Maris can play further forward, and as we've seen, isn't afraid to shoot. So perhaps for me, that's where the change would lie. Craddock off, Porritt on, and push Maris into a more advanced position.
Really soft free kick given by the linesman over on the far side in front of the stock stand.
Yeah, it's a good position.
Very, very dangerous position for Guiseley, who are defending with an awful lot of sky blue shirts in their box, Chris.
Excellent position for Boreham Wood. And again, it's the man that's delivered over set pieces so far, Billy Clifford, who is going to take this free kick for Boreham Wood. Less than an hour gone here at Nethermore Park. Free kick taken, right-footed by Clifford. Camjo's there, and that is as easy as you like for Clovis Camjo. Completely unmarked, the biggest man in the Boreham Wood side. And he's had a free header and put it beyond Steve Drench.
Absolutely textbook, very, very simple, unmarked, unchallenged. The ball delivered to his head, hammers it in to the net in front of him. Very soft goal for Guiseley to concede from a set piece, given the size advantage that we have, and that Clamjo has always looked the most dangerous and physical player from set pieces so far in this game for Boreham Wood. Guiseley are 1-0 down.
Well, we are going to see the introduction of Nicky Boschel. Well, I think we were going to anyway. He was stripped off and ready to come on, but he's now putting a training top back on. So perhaps a change not going to happen there. As Guiseley have to find a way back into this game. We're going to throw in midway inside the Boreham Wood half. Toulson takes it short, finds Hatfield, back to Toulson. Toulson plays a good one back to Hatfield, but Hatfield's turn has just been caught and tackled by Camjo. Ball forward from Boreham Wood all the way through to Stephen Drench, who comes out to the edge of his box to collect that one and sends it forward. Maris was struggling really there because a Boreham Wood player was down the ground in front of him and he almost tripped over the man on the floor, but Boreham Wood, they're looking in the ascendancy at the moment. They've got the tails up, looking for a second. Guiseley, well, they've not looked shell-shocked, they've just been sluggish since the second half started, Nick.
Yeah, they've looked tired, none more so than Will Hatfield, who has been an unending source of energy in recent games for Guiseley. He's trudging around the pitch, he's suddenly struggling to get to every challenge and get his passes away quickly. I wonder if we might see some changes before too much longer.
It would not surprise me, but as I say, it looked like we were going to see Nicky Boschel, but Mark's changed his mind.
Well, as you say that, Nicky's back up off the bench. So is Luke Porritt. I wouldn't mind seeing Danny Boschel warming up with some intent as well, because there's definitely at least one tired pair of legs in that midfield. You know, in that 4-4-2, Lawler and Hatfield have so much work to do, and after the game on Wednesday that Hatfield played all 90 minutes in, I wonder whether it might be him eventually who makes way for the elder Boschel, but no signs of that just yet.
Well, Guiseley concede another free kick. There seems to have been 4 or 5 soft free kicks given in Boreham Wood's favour in this second half so far.
Yeah, Mr. Brooks not afraid of blowing the whistle. It is breaking up the game. In the first half it flowed very well. Since half-time there's been quite a lot of frustrating little stoppages. But here's a stoppage that's not unexpected.
Yeah, we are going to see the substitution. Nicky Boschel is now going to come on, and he's going to replace Tom Craddock, who really, story of his Guiseley career, has worked hard. He's run a lot of distance, but he just hasn't been able to create anything. I don't think he's had a single shot in the game so far, which first and foremost is what you want your strikers to be able to do. As the free kick's been taken by Boreham Wood, Atkinson gets something on it. Now Hatfield. Adam Boyes chasing. James Russell. His clearance is a poor one. Now the ball with Brooksby inside the Boreham Wood half. Looks to pull it back for Toulson. Toulson's just going to get caught, and he's been closed down by Billy Cliff, and the ball in field is a poor one from Wayne Brooksby. But now Charlie McDonald can send Ricky Shakes through on that right hand side. He's played a good ball across to Jamie Lucas. Rob Atkinson is there. So Guiseley, again, they clear it, but there's nobody there.
Well, Guiseley are looking very leggy. There's no two ways about it. I mean, we all want to see them pouring forward, squeezing up the pitch, and then sprinting back when the opposition tried to catch them on the break, but some of them look tired.
I mean, we played a day after everybody else, but we can't really be making that as an excuse. It has been a busy period of games, it has to be said, over the last month or so. But
I'm not
it's
saying
been the same for Bromley, hasn't it? So surely that can't be.
I'm not saying it is an excuse, Chris.
No.
I'm just observing what I see.
No, I completely agree.
Players like Ryan Toulson, Wayne Brooksby, they look tired. They look like every pass they need to make is taking an extra bit of digging deeper.
As you can possibly tell, we've been awarded a free kick.
Glory be.
So, a chance for Atkinson, for Lockwood, for Lawler. All to come forward. Nicky Boschel, the substitute, is in there as well. It's going to be George Maris to take the free kick. Lifts it up towards the back post, just too long. Adam Lockwood was the nearest man to it, but he couldn't muster the energy to throw himself at it.
Yeah, nearly. But hasn't that been the story of so many moves? Nearly.
I hate that word. Well, Luke Porritt is still out, warming up. For me, with the game the way it is, I see no harm in giving him a chance with the raw pace, energy, and somebody that isn't tired.
Yeah, well, if you want somebody to come on and run for 25 minutes, then he's your man. I don't know whether we've seen enough of him to know what else we can expect from him, but he'll certainly...
Good flick off from Adam Boyes, looking to find George Maris. Good defensive work, though, from Danny Woodard. Sorry, Nick.
No, you're all right. He will certainly run at them if nothing else, if he does get a chance. I'm just trying to see where Danny Boschel is at the moment. I can't see him in the dugout, which makes me wonder whether he's out warming up somewhere as well.
He's out warming up, I believe. Nicky Boschel goes down, and somehow the free kick goes against him. All of a sudden, this half, it's just the referee had very little to do in the first half from my point of view. He wasn't that noticeable.
It's probably for the best that he didn't, judging by the decisions he's made since half-time. Because this game could have turned into... It's almost turned into a game of like NFL, American football. It's just kind of
start
30-second segments of play and then irritating pauses.
Well, free kick it is, which James Russell will take for Boreham Wood. The goalkeeper sends it downfield, goes all the way out for a throw in on that far side. And Luke Porritt is taking off his training top, shirting up, and will be making an appearance. And as I say, at this stage, don't forget, Luke Porritt only had one appearance so far this season in the 4-4 draw against Woking. He made an impact in that, as Ryan Toulson now looks to come forward. Plays it inside to Toulson. Lawler, awful. As his pass forward is intercepted. It just ricochets off Camjo. Good sliding challenge from Adam Boyes, and unsurprisingly now, the referee gives a free kick.
No, and it was a good challenge by Boyes. And here we see the introduction of the man that James Headley on Twitter's autocorrect has done him a great disservice. He's asked 5 minutes ago, he wants to see Pox on for Haddock. But we will actually see Poz on, but it won't be for Haddock. It'll actually be for
Haddock at all.
It'll actually be for Wayne Brooksby.
So Wayne Brooksby goes off, and on comes Luke Porritt. Something that a lot of the fans have been wanting to see, and what that means is George Maris comes across to this right hand side. Luke Porritt down the left, and then Nicky Bontrell effectively in behind / alongside Adam Boyes as the two strikers.
And we just hope that doesn't take away Maris's trick of coming and shooting on his right or crossing on his left. I hope he stays dangerous now that he's switched flanks.
Meanwhile, Boreham Wood though have the ball 10 yards or so away from the corner flag, being forced back though by Guiseley. Now Billy Clifford goes back to Reynolds. Now De Vera. As Boreham Wood keep possession, of course, leading by a goal to nil here at Nethermore Park. Now De Vera to Camjo. Lifts it forward over the top. Being defended relatively well by Guiseley. Lockwood looks to get the ball over towards Maris. Maris tries to get ahead of Woodards. Woodards does well, goes down. And the play continues. Adam Boyes goes in late on a Boreham Wood man. And I think the referee may have a word. Adam Boyes is looking at the assist on that far side. Sorry, on the near side. Don't think anything's going to come of it more than that.
Well, he's going to go and ask for a word with Adam Boyes, because what you have to remember is in the referee's world, where Adam Boyes has made 3 great challenges in the last 5 minutes, in the referee's world, Adam Boyes has made 3 bad fouls in the last 5 minutes, and he's telling him one more and I'll card you.
Well, at this stage, as I say, at half-time, the referee, for me, hadn't had a bad game, but for the second half so far, it's been particularly poor.
Yeah, it's been frustrating the way he's run the game in the second half, but guys, they can't afford to use that as an excuse. They haven't played anywhere near as well as they did in the first 45. And they have some fresh legs on the pitch. Porritt on the left, Boschel playing in a little bit deeper behind Boyes.
We've heard Mark Bauer after the last couple of games on Wednesday night and last Saturday at Forest Green ruining his look and the standard of the referees that we've had so far this season. It's this way the second half pans out. I'm kind of feeling like it may be a similar story after this one.
Well, I don't think you can blame the referee for the way that Guiseley have faded in the second half since the break. But there's plenty of the game left to try and wrest back the initiative.
Absolutely. It's Lockwood now, finds Hatfield. Hatfield brings it over the halfway line. He's forced to turn back before playing a ball infield to Nicky Boschel, but that's just been given away. Boreham Wood once again pick up possession. Clifford lifts it forwards, looking to find Lucas. Good header from Rob Atkinson. Now Drench. As the ball goes all the way back to the Lions keeper. Luke Porritt does well, challenges, wins his side a free kick. And again, the ironic cheers, that's good work from Luke Porritt. Direct ball downfield from Stephen Drench. Porritt had a bit of work to do there, to be fair, up against the defender.
Well, he was in no danger of coming away with the ball, but he's managed to win himself a free kick, which is a decent second prize, I suppose.
So free kick 5 yards to the left of the Boreham Wood 18-yard box. Guiseley 0, Boreham Wood 1 here on Guiseley Radio. Free kick from Maris, low one towards the near post, cleared away easily by Boreham Wood.
Tired delivery.
Now Lockwood misses his header. Boys keeps it in play and pulls that back to Rob Atkinson. Atkinson does well. Puts the cross in, which wasn't a bad one. Nobody there. Jake Lawler was the man that was closest to getting anywhere near it. And again, he just didn't seem to have the energy to throw himself in that position.
It did look from here as though Jake had the option of having a go at putting that into the net. I assume he didn't. I assume he didn't turn it down because he didn't want to score, though. I assume the angles are just a bit of an illusion from here. Maybe he wasn't quite as close to it.
It looked like a very good cross in, though, and it looked like it was just very close, really, to him.
Yeah, and a bit more energy and a bit more direct from Guiseley, pushing the passes forward. Looked a lot more dangerous, like they did in the first half.
Now Toulson finds George Maris, operating now on this right-hand side. Goes in field, finds Jake Lawler. Lawler turns back to Maris. Now Luke Porritt. Luke Porritt, not afraid to take a man on. Goes down the left-hand side, gets the ball across. Direct running, but a poor cross from the youngster.
Yeah, very disappointing delivery. But right idea, trying to run, get it onto his preferred left foot and get a cross into the box, but it needs to be an awful lot better than that.
So a goal kick for Boreham Wood. By my reckoning, 72-ish minutes gone here at Nethermore. And Boreham Wood, the visitors, leading at the moment is Nicky Boschel. Got a strong challenge in. And the referee gives it as a free kick to Boreham Wood.
That one wasn't such a clever challenge.
Yeah, even I thought that one seemed more of a free kick, without a doubt, than all the others have been.
Yeah. Puts Guiseley where they don't want to be, which is 10 men behind the ball, camped deep in their own half.
So, free kick for Boreham Wood, which Clovis Camjo will take. Sends it across to the left-hand side. Toulson battling with Jamie Lucas. And the free kick goes in Guiseley's favour.
Well, and that was as mystifying a decision as we've seen all game.
Come on, Guiseley! Come on, Guiseley!
So, a free kick for Guiseley. Just outside the 18-yard box. Moves to the right. Stephen Drench takes it. It's going to be winning in the air by Clovis Camjo. Now Rob Atkinson. His little knockdown isn't great. Players backed out of that as Ricky Shakes looks to come forward. Ricky Shakes somehow gets the 18-yard box, and but for a hand from Stephen Drench, Guiseley would be 2 down, and that was far too simple. Ricky Shakes just ran. Somehow got between Toulson and Atkinson, and frankly should have done better.
Yeah, absolutely. He should have put that out of Drench's reach, either at the near post or the far. Well, it was a good save with one hand, and he did a strong hand to turn that around, because if nothing else, the shot was hit with plenty of venom.
So the corner comes in from Billy Clifford. Headed away by Guiseley, but it's with Jamie Lucas over on the right hand side. He's going to turn and pull the ball back for Reynolds. Reynolds cross. It's a deep one. Camjo's there. Almost gets it goal bound, but it is away by Guiseley. Now Luke Porritt will give chase for the feet of James Russell. Luke Porritt goes to him, does well. That's what the fans want to see.
Yeah, it's what they want to see, but it's not going to produce anything.
Give it time.
That's just...
It's running and energy, which frankly is the one thing we've got at this stage.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem with British football watching, isn't it? That we just reward running and running and running above almost anything else.
Well, at 1-0 down at home to Boreham Wood, mate, we haven't got much else right now.
Oh no, I agree. Your substitute should be chasing it down, but people going, well, that's what we need to see. It isn't what we need to see. We need to see good passing football.
You said that very quietly.
Well.
Meanwhile, Billy
Want to
Clifford
get out
has
of here
possession.
alive.
to the right of the 18-yard box. Ball pulled back. Out of play. Off Luke Porritt for a Boreham Wood throw.
But make no doubt, isn't that what we've been missing is that we haven't been closing the keeper down enough in the second half. That's not what's been missing.
As Boreham Wood win themselves another throw.
What's been missing has been possession in midfield, energy in midfield, organisation up front, and movement off the ball to play passes too.
Which has been lacking in the second half. It was a good first half, a bright first half. The Guiseley had chances, couldn't take them. Story of the season so far. Luke Porritt looks to get a ball forward. Adam Boyce will try and get on the end, but sensible defending from Woodard. Sent forward by Reynolds. Now low, nods it back to the keeper. Charlie McDonald almost thought about getting in there, but the ball back with Steve Drench. Don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but as things stand, we'll be 3 points behind Welling and just 2 points above the bottom four, with results going the way they are. Torquay winning 1-0, Boreham Wood winning 1-0 of course here, Altrincham drawing 1-1. The only team in the bottom six losing at the moment is Halifax.
Yeah, and I don't buy all of the must-win stuff, but this would have been a good game to get some points from. It would have been one that you would have looked at expecting to try and get at least a draw from. And after the first half, you would have been thinking,
we were on course for it.
Every chance of a draw or better.
Absolutely. Of course, 3 points here will put us 5 above the bottom four, going into the FA Cup weekend. Away at Halifax next Saturday as the ball drops nicely to Nicky Borstel. Borstel goes down. He was caught by Reynolds in the box. The referee waves it away.
Well, it's going to be a brave referee who gives that, Chris, but Boschel trying to bring it down and turn in the box did have his standing leg clipped and dragged away from underneath him and brought him down. I'm not thinking it'd be that high a chance that you'd see a penalty given for that, but I think anywhere else on the pitch it probably is a free kick. And that's always the difficulty with those soft ones.
Steve Drench sends a good ball down that left-hand side to find Daniel Lowe, inside to Porritt. Porritt back now to Hatfield. Hatfield to Lowe again. Lowe tries to get the cross, and Nicky Boschel goes for the ornate. Doesn't really come off as George Maris can't get there. The ball high in the air drops into the hands of James Russell, but the referee gives a corner kick.
And how long is it since we've seen a corner, Chris, as we come into the last 5 minutes of this game? How long is it since we saw a corner? The guys who have the height advantage today, all the big players in the box now.
Corner comes in towards the back post, comes to Porritt. His shot came in, it was blocked, and behind for another corner. There was 4 or 5 blue shirts in front of Luke Porritt. What a moment for him it would be if he could get the equaliser in this game. The corner comes in towards the back post, it goes all the way through to Rob Atkinson. Hatfield stood outside the box, still the ball at the feet of Atkinson. Absolutely no support now with Danny Lowe. He's got Jamie Lucas. Lowe does well, tries to get around Camjo, was blocked off there by the brick wall that is Camjo, and the referee doesn't give the free kick. Ball high into the air, Porritt goes up, loses out though.
Well, it looked like an obvious obstruction there of Danny Lowe, tipped the ball past his man and tried to get around him and held back. The guys, he's still on the attack here with the ball on the left.
Cross comes in from Hatfield. Low. Boys goes up. Ball comes out and goes for another Guiseley throw in deep inside the Boreham Wood half, which Ryan Toulson will come to take.
Come on, Guiseley, if you're going to do it, it's going to have to be now.
Throw in taken by Toulson. Lockwood gets the flick on. Camjo gets his foot through it. Gets more height than distance. Now Lawler goes up for it. Hatfield lifts it over towards that left-hand side. Luke Porritt up against the defender. Good work from Luke Porritt to wrestle off Cox, but he's got no support again. He's going to have to try and do something creative here. Ended up just running around in circles, but he had nothing else on. Puts the challenge up, concedes a free kick, which it possibly was. To be fair to Luke Porritt there, though, he had absolutely nobody in support. He was just trying to out-trick the defender in the end.
Yeah.
Ended up putting in a challenge which wasn't great.
No, didn't have many options, but a bit over-exuberant in the challenge. Definitely a free kick. And that gives Boreham Wood chance to slow the game down, start to run off those.
We've got 10 to go. By my reckoning.
Have we?
I reckon so. By there, well, maybe not. I think my clock might be slightly wrong. Either way, we need to get going soon.
Oh, maybe. Sorry, yeah, maybe we have. I thought we were down to the last 5 minutes.
No, I think you might be right, actually. My stopwatch may have gone wrong somewhere along the line. As the ball comes forward now through Nicky Boschel. Good ball to Toulson. Needs to get forward. Hatfield is down and shattered. He does get back up. The ball from Toulson goes to the feet of Boschel, but poor touch from Nicky Boschel gives that away. Now Joe De Vera looks to come forward, plays a good ball to Jamie Lucas on his left-hand side. Jamie Lucas gets inside the box. He's got plenty around him. Thankfully, the shot is straight at Steve Drench. Steve Drench along downfield, looking to send away Maris. Maris up against the defender and Woodard, still battling. Woodard gets a foot on the ball, sends it out to Camjo. Guiseley, it's hard to say whether they're overcommitting or not because they're not piling the white shirts as forward as much as you think, but there's a lot of tired legs out there at this stage. Hatfield plays a good ball to Lowe on the left-hand side, midway inside the Boreham Wood half. The crosses are absolutely atrocious though, and very easily dealt with. And now Ricky Shakes comes forward, plays the ball down the left-hand side inside the Guiseley half. Jamie Lucas completely evades Rob Atkinson. A chance for Lucas to seal it here. Still Lucas, shot deflected. Again, very fortunate for Guiseley, straight into the hands of Stephen Drench.
And make no mistake, only disappointing finishing has stopped Boreham Wood killing this game off already. Guiseley players, as you say, Chris, look really tired. Danny Lowe, that last cross that he played from so deep, very, very low chance of that being dangerous, but just out of gas.
Luke Porritt now finds Boschel. Porritt continues his run, but he's running into trouble there. Is Nicky Boschel up against it. Boschel eventually does get across. There's only two white shirts in the box as George Maris goes up the corner. Surely goal kick must have taken a touch off Maris last, but
well, Maris did his best to climb to head that down. He got a very glancing contact with it and landed quite heavily on the ground. He's down on his all fours in the area, now trying to limp his way back up and out of the box. Martin Stringfellow's been told not to come on just yet, keep the game moving.
Well, he's back up and moving. I think the frustration with the Guiseley fans in the last few minutes is not getting white shirts forward. We've seen on the last couple of occasions that Guiseley have been trying to get crosses into the box, but there's only been 2 or 3 white shirts there. Basically because the legs have gone almost from a number of these players.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been a pattern of the last bits of a few games recently. We've been on such a busy run, and obviously a 24-team league is always going to be a really brutally long season, and for part-timers up against mostly pro teams, I'm not making excuses, I'm saying what I see. There are players where every time the ball comes to them, you see the split second where they drop their head and dig in before they start moving.
Free kick taken by Drench up towards the back post. Guiseley man did get a head on it, but it's been dealt with by James Russell. The attendance has been given out 749.
That's a good turnout.
So it is a good turnout this Saturday afternoon. 749. Goal kick from Russell goes straight out of play. And Guiseley, as we are into the last 5 now, have got to start committing players forward surely.
So we've got 10 free extra minutes just by me not knowing what time the second half started. It's no wonder they're tired.
You would think at this stage you've got to sacrifice the risk of conceding another at trying to get the equaliser.
Yeah, there's no harm in committing extra men forward in the last few moments of the game.
I mean, hell, if you're going to lose, you may as well lose 2-0 and try.
Yeah.
To sit back and take a 1-0 defeat at this stage. As Adam Boys looks to get a flick on, but that man, Clovis Camjo, is there again with the header. And Boreham Wood are just happy to hoof that back downfield and get it away. Going to see another substitution. this time for the visitors. It's going to be number 10, Charlie McDonald, who's coming off. And coming on, Junior Marias. Coming on. It's Junior Marias on, Charlie McDonald off. So a like for like. Somebody who's full of fresh legs, and that is going to cause problems for Guiseley. The sponsor's man of the match there has been given to Danny Lowe. Long ball forward from Drench, flicked on by Ireland Boys. Nicky Bosch was trying to get through and round, but he's going to end up conceding a free kick. You could see where it was going there. He was always up against it. He couldn't get between the two blue shirts. In the end, just barged into one of them and knocked over, I think it was the captain, Reynolds.
Yeah.
And the small amount of travelling Boreham Wood supporters to our left-hand side. Making a bit of noise now.
Yeah, there's a dozen or so very happy people, and what a start for Luke Garrard to his life as a manager, just 30 years old.
As the the free kick from James Russell goes straight out of play. Matt Bauer quickly gets another ball onto the pitch, the Guiseley boss. This ball flicked down towards Luke Porritt. Porritt showing a couple of good touches, does look very well to get away from three and wins his side of corner. Everybody piling forward. Ryan Toulson stays on the edge of the centre circle, but everybody else, bar Toulson and Drench, getting themselves forward. Drench, he's thinking about it, I think, Nick. He's thinking about it.
He's interested, isn't he? He's in the centre circle. I think that's probably as far as they'll let him come for now. Only Toulson for company back there.
Corner comes in. So it's a poor one. You can tell by the groans. Straight into the hands of James Russell. Far too easy. Stephen Drench is not in any hurry to get back onto his own line, ambling. It's James Russell. Kicks it out of his hands, sends it downfield. Rob Atkinson will nod that forward, finds Hatfield. Hatfield does well, wins a free kick, but in that situation, it would have been better for us to have just played on, but it's been taken quickly. And here's Maris, and Maris's ball is intercepted by Camjo. The ball through offside against Jamie Lucas.
The referee knew immediately the mistake he'd made, but it was too late. He'd already taken the momentum out of the Guiseley move.
Steve Drench takes the free kick, distributes a brilliant ball over to Luke Porritt. Now the ball with the feet of Lowe. Lowe goes the low ball into Nicky Boschel, almost loses his footing on the edge of the 18-yard box. Hatfield gets it, and the ball has gone in, but the referee has given the penalty. The ball goes in from Will Hatfield, who scored. Perhaps the goalkeeper had stopped, maybe, I don't know.
Well, that's twice
given a penalty.
That's twice in 2 minutes, Chris, that the referee has given the decision Guiseley's way, but stopped the game far too soon. Before it was Will Hatfield in midfield. This time it was in the box. The ball was already on its way into the goal. It came off the inside of the post, nestled in the back of the net, but the referee had already blown his whistle. He didn't have the opportunity to change. He doesn't have the option to change his mind at that point and play advantage. And now Nicky Boschel will have to take a penalty to try and rescore the equaliser that Guiseley have already put in the back of the net.
Is it bad that you've got a nasty feeling about this?
Will justice be done?
Nicky Boschel will take this penalty up against James Russell, bouncing on the crossbar. Nicky Boschel steps up, puts it into the bottom corner, and Guiseley are level. Guiseley are level, and there's going to be 4 minutes of added time. Excellent penalty that frankly wasn't needed. The goal that should have been given wasn't, a second or two earlier, but Guiseley have got a reward from the spot at least. 4 minutes to go, Nick.
Sorry, Chris, 1-1. You can't argue against that on the balance of the game in total and the pressure that Guiseley have had in the last, have put on Boreham Wood's defence in the last 5 or 10 minutes. But now it will be interesting to see, will there be another goal in this game? If so, it would be decisive so late on in injury time.
The question is, what are Boreham Wood going to do? How are they going to approach added time? They're flooding the blue shirts forward as the ball comes to this left-hand side with Woodards. Inside now to Connor Clifford. Excellent little turn between the two Clifford brothers. Shot goes for goal from Billy Clifford. easy. And now at this point, you can hear what the supporters want. They want Guiseley to push forward.
Well, suddenly, when you can see the finishing line in sight, you can find a last little bit of energy, and suddenly both teams look like they've got that.
As Steve Drench sends it long downfield, Boschel goes up, loses out in the end to Camjo. Hatfield, good challenge. Then the ball ricochets off Connor Clifford into the path of Ricky Shakes.
Will
back in
Hatfield,
possession.
sorry Chris, Will Hatfield won the ball about 4 times against 4 different players in that sequence of play, and still guys who haven't quite managed to take the ball away. In fact, it's back in Boreham Wood possession.
It is through the substitute Marias. Now outside right hand side to Ricky Shakes. Now with Billy Clifford. Turns in field. Nicky Boschel does well. Gets ahead of him. Does very well. Comes forward. Looks to find Adam Boyes, who's making a bit of a run down at left hand side. But it was a tired one. And the Boreham Wood defender Joe De Vera comes across. Hooks that out of play for a throw.
And Nicky Boschel couldn't decide between Porritt and Boyes, and they ended up splitting the ball between the two of them when neither of them could get it.
Good work from Luke Porritt. Almost comes across to find Boschel. But that's not the case. It's been cut out and defended, and that's terrible. And Toulson, a tired, lackadaisical foot on the ball as Boreham Wood get into the Guiseley 18-yard box, right on the edge. Now Billy Clifford turns, plays it across to Connor Clifford. Now with Marias, the substitute for Boreham Wood, inside the box, gets the 6-yard box, pulls the ball across, goes for goal, just wide of the upright.
Absolutely exhausted looking Ryan Toulson made a very poor decision, I'm afraid. Just in front of the edge of the area, just patted it down into the centre of the field for any onrushing Boreham Wood player who fancied a go. In the end, Guiseley fortunate that the shot at the end of that move was put past Drench's far post. He's taking the kick now. Time for one more move or one more try
to
possibly.
Find Luke Porritt, who won the header, flicked further on by Boyes, but Boreham Wood get that away. And now Marias picks up the ball and falls over completely. Hatfield and Nicky Boschel looking for it. Nicky Boschel saw the keeper off his line, went for goal, went for the spectacular. The keeper was off his line, but not that much off his line.
That's
just say it, Nick. Just say it.
But that's unbelievable decision making. The defence are backpedaling. The keeper's on the 6-yard line. You're just past. You're no much further forward than the centre circle. The chances of lobbing the keeper from there are almost none.
Throwing for Boreham Wood on the halfway line. Well, that's it. We're not going to get time for it as the referee blows the full-time whistle here at Nethermore. Guiseley, they come out of this game with a point. And that's about all you can say on the matter. I can't decide how I feel about that. It doesn't feel like a good point. We've played poorly in the second half after a really bright first half, and we thought, great, come out for the second half, same again, we'll go on and win this. Second half, there's nothing short of appalling for the most part from Guiseley.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that as a result either, Chris. As you say, at half-time it looked like we were matching up well today, that we were a slightly bigger team, that playing the 2 men up front was making more opportunities. Boreham Wood, to their credit, and the young manager Luke Garrard in his debut match changed things at half-time. They got extra bodies in midfield. They closed Guiseley down a lot better, and quite quickly it started to show in the legs of the 2 midfielders. Will Hatfield in particular was given such a lot of running to do by them in the second half. Some of the players who played on Wednesday, Toulson in particular, looking leggy as well. In the end, the fight back to get a draw from that probably is a creditable result, and every point on the road to survival in the National League is a good result. But as fixtures go, this would have been one of the ones we would have hoped to maybe sneak all 3 from, and it wasn't the case today. But in the end, to avoid losing and to get a goal late on to take a point from the game is probably fairly creditable.
Well, I'll run through the latest and full-time scores from the rest of the Vanarama National League then. We'll let you know how the table looks now. So Aldershot 1, Bromley 1, Barrow 1, Welling United 1, Cheltenham 1, Eastleigh 1, Chester 2, Halifax 1, Dover 2, Macclesfield 1, Forest Green 0, Tranmere 2, Gateshead 2, Altrincham 2, Guiseley 1, Boreham Wood 1, Kidderminster 0, Southport 1, Lincoln City 2, Braintree 0, Torquay 1, Grimsby Town 1, and Woking 0, Wrexham 1. So the league table looks like this at the top. Forest Green, 35 points from 18 games. Cheltenham in second on 34 points. Then Dover on 30. And then Grimsby and Tranmere make up the playoff places on 30 points, with Bromley just outside on 30. Lincoln and Braintree sit on 29. And at the bottom of the table, where it counts for Guiseley at the moment, bottom, Kidderminster on 8 points. Halifax on 10 points. Southport on 14. Torquay on 15. Makes up the bottom 4. Then Boreham Wood on 16 points, Altrincham on 19 points, and then Guiseley sitting 18th place on 20 points, 6 points above the bottom 4. So that brings you up to date with the games here. Don't forget, Guiseley are in FA Cup action next Saturday when they travel to the Shea to take on FC Halifax Town. Thanks for tuning in today. Until next week, ta-ra.